Day 181 of the Ukrainian War Map, also known as the Russo-Ukrainian War. Juzzy here, and today is just another quick update as I take a simplified and down-to-earth approach to the happenings on the ground in Ukraine. Now, with this video, just bear with me as I do have a bit of a wisdom tooth issue today. We'll see how we go. And as always, I like to start off with the Russian military hardware and personnel losses. So we'll start off with the personnel losses, which are sitting on 45,550. Again, these are just an estimate. Take them with a grain of salt. A lot of trolls tell me a lot of other things in the comments there, but we do need to work on something. I like to have a particular look at the Russian military hardware losses. So, for instance, there is a whopping 8 armored combat vehicles, Russian ones, that were lost in the last 24-hour reporting period, and a couple of extra tanks, which is always fairly decent there. Now, let's move across to the map and have a look. And we'll go to Sumy, which borders Russia on the north here. So, where the Russian army has switched gears in the Sumy Oblast recently by targeting the Oblast at the border with machine guns instead. This is a little bit unusual because the weapon of choice would normally be heavy ordnance like artillery and mortars, though two things spring to mind here for me. So the first one is Russian supply lines have recently been hampered to the north in actual Russian territory by Ukrainian attacks. And the second thing would be one of Russia's most recent military objectives was to intensify attacks up the north end here to keep Ukrainian soldiers planted here so that they don't assist with any counteroffensive down south. So what might a Russian battalion do when they run low on heavy ordnance? I'd speculate that they would use probably whatever else they have at their disposal, like low yield and ineffective machine guns to keep up the firing pace that they were ordered to do so with. So that's a bit of an unusual one there. We'll move across down to the Donetsk area here today. So this is an interesting one here. So explosions were reported at an ammunition dump in Russian-occupied Donetsk. Now, I don't normally do it, but today I'll whip out the old wildfires map that also happens to pick up massive ammo dump explosions. And if you have a look around here, you'll see something in particular. Yeah, this big freckly spot right there. So basically, not a natural wildfire, this one. This was actually a Russian ammunition depot. And yeah, so that's so that happened. That's quite a big one, actually, bigger than what you normally see. But we'll move along. But there has been quite a big deal of intensification of attacks on both sides, particularly on the Russian side, hitting the Ukrainian side in Donetsk in the last week, and especially in the last day. So Kramatorsk, Sloviansk, Bakhmut, and most places nearby the front line. One thing Russia has a lot of is its low precision artillery shells. So again, it's just using what it has at its disposal on the front line. We'll move down just to for a sec. It's probably getting a bit, hopefully not too boring here, but the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in Enerhodar, which is hiding over there. There we go. Russia continues to build up military equipment and troops at the nuclear power plant, which the Ukrainian Nuclear Energy Agency, which is named Energoatom, reported earlier today. So they're building up additional troops and vehicles, many of which they're putting right near the nuclear reactors or inside the nuclear power plant there. Again, probably shouldn't say it, but what they do is they fire and they use the nuclear power plant as a bit of a dick move for cover to shoot beyond on the north side of the Dnipro River here. That is what it is too. Now, Kherson, probably a bit of extra information here today. So if we zoom across, so Russia is at it again, trying to construct a floating bridge over the Dnipro River in Kherson. So around here near the Antonivka Bridge, pretty close to both of these destroyed bridges actually. Now, theoretically, this will increase Russia's troop and supply capacity to the Russian offensive front line at the Kherson North Bank, which is all up here, and that's the front line of the Kherson North Bank on the Russian side. And but what we're likely to see or continue seeing here is actually the Ukrainian forces probably just going to strike any makeshift floating Russian bridge at a moment's notice, again with their high precision HIMARS weaponry there. Of course, this is all on the back of Ukraine taking out the other real bridge infrastructure there, and up near the dam there. So creating a floating bridge is probably just going to be an ongoing exercise in futility for the Russian forces. Just as a note, Russia is forced to use super slow and inefficient ferries to cross the river at the moment there to supply its front lines up there. So yeah, that's unfortunate for them. They're doing everything they can, but I don't think they've got this North Bank forever, to be honest. Let's see. Also in Kherson, so there was explosions at yet another ammunition dump in Russian-occupied Ukraine. So that's this part right here. So we can see it, Zelenivka. So right there with a photo to boot. And then we move down to Crimea in Sevastopol. So the largest city in the Crimean Peninsula, just actually a little bit on the outskirts. So there were loud explosions reported in the Sevastopol outskirts there. Got a bit of a telegram message for people on the ground, and they're saying a lot of things. It is obviously not in English here, but you can see at the top they say the explosion was well heard in the area of the central department store. The glass shook. Another one says an explosion was heard. Next one down says strong explosion. Next one says some apartments have broken windows. Sorry, I'm just quickly translating this for you guys. Another one says it was heard on the crystals, whatever that means. The windows shook and the curtains were thrown back in the house. Something flew from side of the Belbek. Just doing my best to... and lastly, the one down the bottom says, good afternoon, exclamation mark. I'm not sure why they would say it like that. A powerful explosion was heard in Inkerman. So, yeah, so a lot of stuff seems to have happened there. Obviously, the Crimean air defenses are, like I said yesterday, in full swing to protect them from probably 30 kilometer or 20 mile an hour drones that are just going up to the edge here. These drones, which are probably a lot cheaper than the surface-to-air defense missile systems that cost a lot more for those types of missiles. So it's not exactly an even economic parity there, and it's good on the Ukrainian side, you could say. But let's see. So we're going to move to just a little bit of the news today. I can't talk forever because of this wisdom tooth issue. It's hurting as we speak. So let's see. Now, of course, we've got the Kiev military parade, on the 24th. So coming up really, really soon there. Displaying captured Russian vehicles, things of that nature. Although there have been some reports to suggest that Russia will actually step up its attacks on this day, tomorrow. So yeah, of course remains yet to be seen. But obviously the tightened security everywhere there on the Ukrainian side. Estonia, so you can't really see it on this map, but up to the north there, Estonia pushes for a full embargo on Russian energy in an EU sanctions package. So as you might know, Russia supplies a lot of gas and petroleum to Europe, and Estonia said, we must seriously raise the price of the war for the aggressor before winter. The 7 previous packages proved insufficient to push Putin to end the war. And that's the foreign minister of Estonia saying that, which is a big deal considering Estonia borders Russia. So again, ballsy Estonia, always keeping up on the Ukrainian side there. Now, just lastly, again, slightly shorter video, but I'm going to round it off with let's call it a funny or maybe the lighter side of news. So we've got a couple of topless protesters in Germany that also call for the gas embargo as well. So stopping all that gas, those purchases, purchasing from Russia, just as with the Estonian news I've mentioned a moment ago. They seem to interrupt German Chancellor Scholz there, or a speech, which is he seems happy enough with what he's seeing. Sorry for the digital pasties here, guys. I want to keep it all above board with YouTube and things like that. But yeah, I guess nothing gets people's attention like a good old topless protest with ink signs on your body. Now, yeah, Germany is obviously heavily dependent on Russian natural gas, and yeah, so far it has imposed the gas embargo. And that's why this is all happening here. Although Germany has talked about upscaling its existing nuclear power plants and making them last longer, doing whatever they can. They've tried to purchase gas from all these locations overseas, but not successful yet. So obviously they're torn between two worlds, aren't they? So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry that I'm probably not the most clear voiced today. It's just hurting to talk, so I apologize if the audio quality sounds bad. It's just my voice that's particularly bad today. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, show all the trolls in the comments who's who, and I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.